Hi, I'm Bill Attardi, and this is Learners Live. As you can see, in 2025, we posted the following learning lessons, and I hope you found them informative and educational. They're all about marketing and management. But this is 2026, and this year we're going to focus on case studies. We teach case studies in the business schools at the collegiate level because it's very effective in analyzing actual businesses that have succeeded and also have failed. You can learn from both of those cases. And we did Montgomery Ward in January, and now we're going to do Domino's. And this is a very good case because it goes from a business that almost went bankrupt to the #1 pizza chain in the world. But let me first start with an entertaining video. Now, I don't know where that pizza place is, but I have a feeling he makes good pizza. Anyway, let's go back to Domino's. That's Thomas Stephen Monahan. He happens to be an Irishman, and he started Domino's Pizza back in 1960. Actually, he and his brother bought a company called Dommy Pizza. No, Dommy Nix. Dommy Nix. And he paid $500 for it, okay? And in 20 years, he built up 300 stores. And by 1986, they had 5,000 stores. So he was quite an entrepreneur. And now, today, Domino's has over 21,000 stores worldwide in over 90 countries. That's unbelievable growth. He was a baseball fan as well because he owned the Detroit Tigers when they won the World Series in 1984. He sold the business in 1998 to Bain Capital for $1 billion. He's 87 years old, and he took his $1 billion and he built a community down in Ave Maria, Florida. And I happen to have a cousin, my good cousin Tommy Maltese and Rosemary live in Ave Maria, Florida. Thomas Monahan happens to be a devout Catholic. He built a church down there, and he's a big supporter of Ave Maria University. So that's the background of this particular very innovative entrepreneur. I think he built the business with that particular slogan: hot pizza in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. Let's talk about the industry, because there's really two major companies, franchises in the industry on a worldwide basis, Domino's and Pizza Hut. First of all, Gennaro Lombardi was the one who opened the first pizzeria here in the United States in 1905. Now, the Italians were making pizza in the 1600s, and Lombardi was a Napoletan, and he immigrated into New York City, and he built this, and he put the first pizzeria together. Pizza Hut actually is the oldest pizza chain because it was founded in 1957 in Wichita, Texas. The industry is $160 billion in sales, okay? $47 billion in the United States. So this is a very big industry. As far as restaurants are concerned, or pizzerias are concerned, it's 245,000 in the world and 78,000 in the United States. Can you believe it? But Norway consumes the most pizza on a worldwide basis. I guess it's so cold up there in Norway that all they do is call on Domino's and they deliver the pizza in 30 minutes. Domino sells over 500 million pizzas each year on a global basis. That's a lot of pizza. And 70% of the orders come through digital channels. That's a very important service that Domino's does, and they do it better than anybody else, and that's part of the success story. Okay, but let's go back to when they were almost going bankrupt. We make our pizza and our boxes out of the same material. That's what was going on in 2010. That's when he took over. Another Irishman, by the way. His name is Patrick Doyle. And in 2010, he became the CEO of the company. And the reason CEOs make the big bucks is because they have to do two things. They have to problem solve and they have to make good decisions. Well, they had to, when he took over, the first order of business for Patrick Doyle was to define the problem. And here was the problem. They were going bankrupt. That's a big problem in any business. The stock was selling for $10 a share, and the market share was hardly less than 5%. They went to focus groups to find out what the problem was. And here's what the focus groups told them. It's the worst pizza I ever had. Pizza crust tastes like cardboard. The sauce tastes like ketchup. If you're making pizza, you don't want your existing customers to think that way. And if they are, you're losing them. Simple and very succinct. You're losing your existing customers. So how do you solve this problem? Let's go to another video.
There comes a time when you know you've got to make a change. You know, you can't lead a company like this unless you love food. I love food. I love pizza. It was about 50 years ago that they started the first store just about 5 miles from here.
Two brothers had a great idea, and they also said they wanted to get it delivered within 30 minutes, and that's something that no one said could be done. In fact, the first pizza delivery vehicle for our company is that vehicle right there. Around in the 80s, we were exploding. We were the fastest growing company in the history of franchise business. Nothing had ever grown like that.
Now we're almost 9,000 restaurants around the world. We love what we do at Domino's.
Pizza, where's the love? How hard? Bread, sauce, cheese, fresh ingredients. Doesn't feel like there's much love in Domino's pizza.
Domino's pizza crust to me is like cardboard.
Is it hard to wash stuff?
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
I hear what some folks are saying about our stuff.
Oh, this one's bad. Worst excuse for pizza I've ever had.
The sauce tastes like ketchup.
Totally void of flavor.
You know what? When you first hear it, it's shocking.
The cardboard complaint is the most common one.
This we hear over and over and over.
I mean, that hits you right in the heart. This is what we've done. This is what I've done, for 25 years now.
You can either use negative comments to get you down, or you can use them to excite you and energize your process of making a better pizza. We did the latter.
Most companies hide the criticism that they're getting, and we actually faced it head on.
Some people didn't get us credit for the taste of our product. That's what we're fixing.
We listen to our consumers, and they want us to be better, and we want them to be happier. We want people to love our pizza.
This is what's driving us. This is what's lit the fire under us. This is what's making us want to get better.
Who are we?
It's been crazy down here. We had our best chefs working hard to find the best combinations, looking at 10 crust types, 15 sauces, dozens of cheeses.
You can't just add a little salt or add a little something to the recipe. I mean, we basically had to start over with a new recipe.
And they were working day and night and weekends to get it done.
This is Roxanne. She's one of the lead chefs for pizzas, and she's constantly trying new stuff, and she's saying, try this and try that. The day she put this in front of me, I said, dang, this is the real deal.
We changed everything. The crust, the sauce, the cheese. Now it tastes better.
We started working on the cheese.
We've got shredded cheese. Cheese. It's cheese. It's tastier. When you smell it, it's got an aroma to it. I mean, This is what cheese should be.
Bottom line, folks, is they made better pizza. And that's what they needed to do in order to turn this company around. And really, when it all started, they had to do the research. In order to making better pizza was the easiest strategy to think about when you think about the problem that they had. When your customers are telling you make the worst pizza, you better make a quality pizza. Okay, that's number one. So the research indicated that, and they asked customers, and they did surveys, and they did monitoring, and they tracked the improvements that they were making. All of that was absolutely necessary in order to get a good handle on what the problem was. Okay. And in addition, they had to provide the service necessary in order, they had to make quality pizza, but they also had to be the best in serving that pizza. And delivery service in the digital marketplace was what they focused on. Social media, the platforms, the tools, the internet, streaming, both of those two things, making quality pizza and living in the modern world and delivering the pizza in a timely manner. I guess they get a lesson from Amazon and how important delivery is. In order to understand this particular case, I think the lesson here is effective STP marketing. STP, segment, target, and position. You need to segment the business first. You got to understand the pizza business as thoroughly as you possibly can. You got to target specific customers, and then you have to position your business in the minds of those particular customers. Let's take a look at the segments of the industry. This is a macro industry, the restaurant segment. When you look at this is the way this particular segment, the full service segment, how they break down their particular industry. And you can see what those are. But this subject is all about the fast food segments. And the sandwich industry, the McDonald's and the Taco Bells and the Burger Kings, they dominate the sandwich industry. And you know, the ice cream and the chicken and the coffee and the salad. That's the way they segment their business. And the pizza industry is number 3 on the list. And that's dominated by a franchise. And a franchise basically is a successful business that you can duplicate anywhere in the world. That's what a franchise is. And that's very dominant in the fast food industry. And when you look at the United States pizza segment, here's an unusual aspect of the pizza industry. Chains represent about 46% of the business. Independents are over 50%. Very unusual in the fast food industry. Most of the time, the franchisee or the chain is 80-90% of the industry. But you know, in your own particular market, there are a number of independent pizza restaurants, and they play a big role in pizza in this country. And here's the way it breaks down. There's 78,000 pizza franchises throughout the country, and it's pretty much dominated by population, as you can see. Why do the research? 3 reasons. Confirm what you know and find out what you do not know. And that's very important. And you know that knowledge is power for you to put together a marketing plan that has some reasonableness for success. Implementation is a very important part of research. Systematically collecting the data, defining the problem, recommended actions necessary. That's where the decision-making comes into play. Is there an opportunity to improve your marketing activities? That's what research will give you. And reposition to expand it into other segments. And you'll see how Domino's has also gone in that direction as well. Here's where the turnaround happened. And we can say that it was Patrick Doyle who did all the heavy lifting, but there was someone else involved, an ad agency, and his name was Tony Calcaio. And he worked for a company called Crispin Porter and Babuski. That was the advertising agency that helped Patrick Doyle turn around the Domino's company. And his recommendation was And I can almost visualize Tony coming to the headquarters and sitting in front of Patrick Doyle and saying, you have to apologize to your company, to your customers. You make lousy pizza and you got to tell them that it's your fault. And I'm recommending a mea culpa ad campaign, and that's going to save your company. Okay. You must change. Number one, you got to change. You got to make better pizza, and you got to have a new recipe with better ingredients. And you must make in addition to saying mea culpa, which is Latin for my fault, you have to promise to improve and make better pizza. Hot pizza in 30 minutes or it's free. That's the mea culpa ad. Now, there's a risk in that particular ad. I'm sure Patrick Doyle had to question Tony and say, suppose they just hear the poor quality and not the improving part. He said, well, that's the risk we have to take with an apology ad. Well, folks, it worked. It started the turnaround. In fact, it was so successful, and they ran it for 2 years, by the way. It was so successful that they had the second campaign, the follow-up campaign, was called the No Ad campaign. The No Ad campaign introduced the artesian pizza. No changes. This is a high-end pizza, and you can't, they're talking to the customer now, you can't change it. It's an exact taste that can't be altered. It's limited choice. You know what it is? It's the Wolfgang Puck model. You don't tell Wolfgang Puck how to make anything, what ingredients he should use or how he should cook. You go from bad to good to great. And that's what they were communicating. They went from, it's my fault, mea culpa, to now we make the greatest pizza in the world. That's the turnaround message that Tony and Patrick Doyle were sending to their customer. And when you think about that, it's very important as a company to have a good overall communication strategy, and the ad agency and client relationship is very important. And that's why you hire a good agency that you can work with. It's a full service agency. They do the planning, the creation, the production, the placement of the ads. They help you in a very significant way because communications is very important in getting your message to your customers, because you've got to get your existing customers back. It's teamwork, it's research, it's diagnosing the brand and repositioning it if it's necessary. It's understanding your segments of the industry, who you're targeting, and how you can position yourself in the minds of the customer. Remember, the focus is still on the customer. So let's go to the targets. Again, we just talked about segmentation. Now let's go to the targets. The mea culpa ad, very simple. It's the existing customers, the past and the present. You were losing those customers. You needed to get your message to them that you were making better pizza. And very, very important, you had to get to your employees and your stakeholders and to your investors. You had to make sure that they understood that you were making a major, major change in your company and that you were going to turn this business around. Quality-centric was the whole, the focus of this particular business today. When they ran the No Ad campaign, now you're not only talking to your existing customers, you're targeting new customers. You want to get more and more people in because you're saying you make quality pizza now. So those are families, singles. It's a high road from bad to good to great. And this is what happened, folks. From 2010 to 2026, the stock price went from $10 a share to over $400 a share. I just looked it up today. It's $402 a share. And the market cap is $14 billion. And that's on the strength of those two particular ad campaigns. Marketing mix is very important in any lesson when you think about marketing and what you need to do. Remember the 4 P's: product, place, promotion, and place? Well, we changed it to the 4 C's. Consumer solutions, only as good as your last pizza. That's the solution, quality-centric. Convenience to buy. The service that they provide is better than anybody in the industry with the delivery and the pizza tracker and the electric vehicles that they use now to deliver the pizza. Communications. The ad campaigns work. They delivered on the promise. They made better pizza. And the cost to satisfy, you can get very good pizza for $4.99, $5.99, online specials. This is a company that understands the cost side of the business as well. Positioning. Now, we talked about segmentation and targeting. Now let's talk about positioning. Every business is looking for a sustainable competitive advantage, an advantage that your competition can't easily duplicate. And it's a value proposition unique to your business. Making quality pizza and delivery is their unique value proposition. Brand loyalty, content marketing, integrated marketing communications. You've got to cover everybody in the industry. Market share position has to get better. And you reposition your company. They no longer call themselves Domino's Pizza. It's just Domino's, and I'll give you the reason why. They not only sell pizza anymore, it's penne pastas, Domino's pasta dishes, sandwiches. In addition to the pizza, they've added a complete menu of fast food products that are doing exceptionally well on a worldwide basis. And social media is very important in this particular business. It strengthens your relationship with your existing customers. You reach new customers because social media has tremendous reach and tremendous breadth. Increased customer satisfaction, increased interaction with customers, and you're building brand loyalty with your particular product. They launched they're expanding their offerings on an ongoing basis. They create demand, they generate sales leads, integrate social media into other marketing efforts. And here's the big thing, digital transformation. They do that better than any company. So Domino's has double-digit growth for the last 10 years, and that's the reason why they're as successful as they are on a worldwide basis. As I said, it's a $160 billion industry, and Domino's has 10% of it on a worldwide basis. As far as the U.S. is concerned, they got a 20% market share. Pizza Hut is their major competitor, and of course, Little Caesar and Papa John's also compete, not on a worldwide basis as much, but also in the United States. And Pizza Hut, by the way, is that may be another case study, folks, because I'm going to watch it closely. They just closed 250 underperforming stores. Now, Pizza Hut is owned by Young Brands, as I mentioned, and I'm sure they're looking at this, and they may be in a little trouble. Oh, by the way, stuffed pizza. If you ever get a chance to go to Chicago, there's a place called Giordano's. I know this is a Domino's case study, but I want to talk about stuffed pizza is unbelievable. You can only eat one slice of it, but it is absolutely unbelievable. And you get it in Giordano's in Chicago. So some of you that live in Chicago know exactly what I'm talking about. Here's something else that, is that when it comes to Super Bowl Sunday, pizza and Super Bowls go together. Normally, they sell 8 to 9 to 10 million pizzas a day, right? They sell 12 to 13 million on Super Bowl Sunday. Domino's on Super Bowl sell 2.5 million pizzas. That's a lot of pizza on one day. Before I close, are there any questions? Let me talk about the lesson here with respect to Patrick Doyle and what I consider to be the skill set necessary to be an executive manager. The first thing, and you saw that in the film, I think, you've got to set goals. But most importantly, you got to have everybody in your company buy in to those goals. And if that video is any indication, everybody that worked for Patrick Doyle knew exactly what the issue was and were dedicated, had a passion for improving the quality of that product. They saw opportunities to grow the business. But before they did that, they had to make sure internally and externally they solved the problems that the company was experiencing. And they made the right decisions. Here's what AI says. In every case study that I teach today, I always go to artificial intelligence and say, what are the marketing lessons of this case? And let me go through them very quickly. First and foremost is listen to your customers. Listen to what they have to say. Those are the ones that you have to satisfy. Your existing customers will tell you exactly what, if there's a problem, they'll tell you what that problem is. Transparency and accountability. That's what mea culpa is all about. Taking decisive action. You had to make better pizza. Revamping the product. Communicating the change. Not only the mea culpa ahead, but also the no campaign. Utilizing the services that are necessary to augment your particular product through digital and social media. Continuous long-term improvement, not just a one-time. Results-oriented approach, and make sure you get your employees engaged, involved, and have a passion for making your company successful. It's a quality-centric overall strategy that was very successful for this company. And believe it or not, I teach at Monmouth, and in February 9th of this year, we had a pizza day at Monmouth University. And the case study I taught on that particular day, we brought pizzas in. Anyway, I didn't think you knew, but October is National Pizza Month. How many foods have a complete month that's dedicated to it, right? Anyway, someday you're going to see a truck or an electric car come up to your house, and they're going to promise you that hot pizza's in 30 minutes or it's free. Okay? So get on the phone and order your Domino's pizza and enjoy.